So hi everybody, this is Marion Neubronner and I'm actually in LA, Los Angeles, mostly in Santa Monica, but moving around Culver City and Brentwood, looking at places to stay as I create my second business. So that's why I actually decided to talk to you today, and I was very honored because I love Grace and the people at the Change School, and I wanted to give you some opportunity to hear a bit of my life. So what I do is in Singapore, I basically founded a boutique training company that does only leadership development. So current clients are Oracle, Schneider Electric, the government, civil service, police force, air force. And what we do with them is we help them become better leaders to manage their people, mostly the millennials. So I'm the author of Turning Gen Y On, what every leader needs to know about recruiting and retaining the millennials. And I also work a lot with mindfulness and leadership. So I also teach Search Inside Yourself, which is the Google program that's now being brought around the world through SAP and other companies like that. And I teach it to Singtel. And we help leaders get more mindful and more aware of their own hidden mechanisms and pre-wire or triggers so that they're able to manage themselves to be a more conscious and more conscientious leader so that when they work with their teams, they work with them better. And my passion is around becoming a better learner and a better leader. When I was working in the school system, I was a public service commission scholar. And what happened was I was a leader very young. I was like 24 and I was leading like 90 teachers, 110 teachers in the next school. And I was telling older people and younger people as well, but people what to do. And not enough leadership education was around me, and limited mentoring as well. So people told me to get tasks done, but they didn't teach me or help me understand how best to move the group or to understand the political, social, cultural issues in the organization. I left soon after because my mom and dad were not well, and the last 3 years I've been taking care of them, and that's where I created my first company, which is New Education. And now I'm at the stage where I'm thinking of my second company, and that is the Los Angeles-based investment company, right? So it's about financial education for women to invest in women businesses and women startups. So I'm not going to preempt the story, but I'm just going to go through some of the questions that were posed at the Change School so you can see maybe how it matches your own life as well. So I thought it was a very interesting title. The title was De-risking Career Transition. And in my opinion, actually, you need to understand that the real risks involved in not transiting out of the career. So most of the time when we stay up to a certain age, so midlife wise, right? So I'm around my midlife, right? If you consider midlife dying at 80, I'm midlife. And importantly, you must understand that there's another emotional need or things that should be given to you apart from the fact that you are going to make money. There is a spiritual or emotional and psychological need that needs to be fulfilled. So I always talk to my peak performers because I coach CEOs and coach leaders. What are your rewards and what are your regrets, right? So a regret is something that you knew that if you didn't do on your deathbed, as you're dying, or you're too old or too unable to help, you would regret not being able to do. You regret not being part of. And that was really something that woke me up most recently because the last few years taking care of my mom and dad and the money that I got from my company was all very good. It was challenging taking care of mom, but I felt very fulfilled and I did what I did. But when mom passed a year ago, I could reconsider how I worked in my life and what to do with that whole situation. Where am I contributing now most to my life? And then I realized, of course, that I want to do something bigger. And that's not because I personally wanted to do something bigger, but I had the resources, the capacity, the know-how to do something on a more global scale than I ever had before. So the idea is I would regret not doing it because this is something that I was supposed to do. And I wrote it down. Basically, it's like a legacy, right? What I do now with my training company is mostly me and I'm front-facing. Without me around, there's no one else that can do it, or of my other trainers can do it, but it's not the same. And I want to build now a platform where learning can take place by itself for learners who need to learn. So this platform, not by myself, but with partners, will teach entrepreneurs to plot in all their different stages of their growth. We'll do financial matrices, we'll do marketing matrices, we'll do all the templates you need. And as you plug it in, you give you indicators of where you are in your journey and what else you may need to seek or find. And we're drawing together all the other experts who know about entrepreneurship or funding, and all these things I've done in the last few years to understand more about the startup and small business and family businesses. Because business to me is a heart of a community. A company that does good business allows a community to grow and change. And leadership in that community is the same as leadership in business. Business, community, non-profit, change agents, they're the same, right? They make something happen and a system changes. So many startups have very great ideas, or many women have fantastic ideas, but they are unable to grow or scale because they're stuck with these legal templates, metrics, and things that I myself had to look to find answers to. So we're going to put them all in one place as if it was an inventory. And then on the same side, we get investors. Currently, I myself personally have about 50 to 100K extra money to invest. And I don't mean extra like hanging out, but I put my money aside in properties, I put my money aside in stocks and shares. I've done my part with that, but now I want to give something back, and I want that something to grow, right? So it's like planting a seed that will grow, and as I grow older, that tree will feed me back, and that tree will feed me back in terms of money, but also in terms of psychological and emotional connection to the world and to the communities that I want to be part of. Right? So currently I'm helping out with some things in Africa, in Nepal, in India, and in Singapore, because these are ways I grow communities around the world to help women who are like me. So this platform will be a legacy, and I will regret not doing it because I could. And on the other side, what are the rewards? So the rewards are exactly what I said to you. I get to grow my family. My mom has passed, my dad has passed, my nieces are grown, and I want to give to a family, and I want to give to my own family as well. So I would want a platform rather than me myself, because I want to adopt a child, or in this later stage of marriage, I need more support. So I'm not going to do it all alone from scratch. I want to build a community around it. I want to be able to help people build communities around me with my resources and make it very tight and close, but also very agendaed to change, to changing and having more diversity in leadership and the commentary we have in the business world. I come from a space where most of the time when I attend tech conferences, I'm one of less than 20% or 15% women. When I attend finance conferences or investment, same thing, less than that, I'm 10%. When I was voted top 200 LinkedIn social sellers on LinkedIn in Singapore, I was less than 20% of the room as a woman, and again less than most of the room even as an Asian woman. So I worry about the lack of diversity in platforms where we are influencing people to sell things, buy things, and make business. And women who have less resources and money don't have a chance to have their voices put out in a bigger platform sometimes. They may be very good and fantastic in their home communities, but there's this interplay of wealth and influence that we need to be aware of. And it's not that women don't know how to use money, but these discussions are not so clear. Personally, for myself, I learned it myself, even though my brother, my uncle, and my cousin, and my female cousin, were all investing for themselves. They were almost too afraid to teach me or want me to follow their way of doing things, because this is not something that they want to consider, right? They were worried that I get hurt by their losses. So it's time. It's time for something that you decide is a legacy project for yourself, because the risk is you will feel that you regret not doing it. So this second career, this second business, this second life change, it's actually a form of recreation. I don't call it a career change. I call it a recreation of yourself. And for me, it's definitely a recreation of myself. Madonna, right? The singer, songwriter. She's always reinventing herself. But I don't think it's a reinvention. It's creating again from you. And now the I that I am now at this age is not the I that I was when I was younger. This me knows more and wants different things. So I'm recreating from that space. And welcome to LA and the police sirens. This is common, just in case you're worried. Nothing really major is happening, I hope. Yeah, so I want to show you this. See, so I always think about this when I do my work. So in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right, there's the food, there's the shelter, and currently that's kind of covered in most of my work, and I hope that you find work that always covers this. And love and belonging was when you put it together to be in a community, and I had that mostly because I was doing a lot of it for my family. But no, this is where I'm aiming towards now. This idea of self-esteem, building something that leaves a name or brand for me, not because I'm egotistical, but because this is how I express myself and my talents in the world. My purpose, my talents, my strengths, right? All the experiences I have, so that we can self-actualize and really, to be honest, to transform. In my time now that I have, I would like to be able to go deeper into myself and understand what's my purpose in the world. And when I call myself a global citizen and having a global mindset is I may live in Singapore most of the time, or I may just be working off my kitchen table. But my kitchen table reaches the world now. And if I am unable to speak more about how I'm adding value to my community, to the world around me, or even help someone else I know I can simply transfer some money, have one-on-one mentoring with a woman across the world, or men, right? That's so many what my friends are doing now. And more, I've found global leaders who come together to talk about conscious leadership, global mindsets, and using business as a tool for transformation. Politics is one thing, you know what I mean. Mostly it's very nationalistic sometimes. It's hard to reconcile laws and policies. It's government. But business, this neighborhood business goes from one country to another, right? The yogurt place, the Spanish yogurt place, Liao Liao, from Spain to Singapore. I know the founder, right? Starbucks, right? From America to Asia. Chinese products and businesses from China to the rest of the world. Business is the new way of living a more holistic life if we want to be conscious about how to make business and do business. So the art of recreation is not a luxury. It's not good to have. It is the major risk. It is the huge risk of you not having a say in the world when you can and you should. And if you're busy still managing your own things and you're busy with shelter and food and your own family, you're still doing fantastic that way. But if you think that you've done that part of your life and you want to recreate, there is no de-risking of your career transition. You're recreating. And the two words that come from recreation as create anew, and also recreation is actually a form of relaxation, mental and spiritual reflection, right? It's like creating a new canvas, and that is so enjoyable. Frightening? I'm frightened that I'm here in LA, not knowing what I'm doing. I'm putting in money to find housing. I travel up and down. It's a crazy transit, right? But I know that there is something here, and I need to explore it while I can, and I need to explore it because I can. And where in your world do you explore something that you can and you have to do, right? So a global mindset, a global heart means you solve global issues, be it in the neighborhood, safety in the neighborhood that you belong to, food and belonging in the neighborhood you belong to, towards a bigger global world. And when you solve it in your neighborhood, that best practice can be shared with the world. So you can be a thought leader. You don't have to be the person that implements. We need more thought leadership. We need more diversity of thought in leadership. We need more good, conscious leadership. And this call to action for me is, there's no risk. Being you is not a risk. It is a great joy, great privilege. And if you can do it, do it. You want to connect with me some more, I'm basically at marionneubronner.com. Marion, I'm sure they put out a title for you somewhere. And I coach peak performers, and I coach leaders, and I coach change agents. And I want to build a community of change agents. So come and look for me, join the Leadership Heroes Coaching Circle. Let's talk about issues that matter. And let's just grow and be happy and make that recreation your new creation. So I hope that helped. Yeah, and do keep in touch. I really enjoy change makers like you. Thank you so much again for the opportunity for change.